Ever since Palantir reported Q3 earnings, the stock is on the downtrend. I mean, so far that it looks like it's in the trash right now. And the worst around it may go even further down. But hey, I'm not sure, all right? Because if I was, I wouldn't be sitting here making videos on YouTube. I will be on my jet, because if everybody was able to predict the future and the stock market, will all be billionaires. But that's not the case. Now, what exactly is happening with Palantir? Why the prices keep dropping, and where can we go? When can it actually expect from it on the short term moving forward? So these are exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Getting into the share price and the chart, you can see that today, even the Nasdaq attended to rebound a little bit. I mean, this was just punished, all right? In the last 5 days, you can see even from the 23s, which personally, I think this was already kind of in the trash. So we are 11% almost down from the 23s. But looking at where it was sitting right on the earnings, it was back in November 8th, boom, 23%. That is a lot for a company like Palantir, which at the point was trading around the 40s, the mid 40s. So what is actually happening here? I believe we have two main things. First of all, there was a build-up coming into the earnings, all right? When you look on the 6-month chart, you can see that there was this big build-up from the 23s all the way up to the 27. That was a 15.5% increase because people were expecting on this to be actually a very good earning that will catapult it going back to the 30s or the 35 potentially. Now, earnings were a little bit mixed according to some analysts, according to some people on the street, especially and also for some of the retail traders, because Palantir is a volatile stock, all right? This is one of the favorite Reddit stocks, and people are day trading it, people are swing trading it. I swing traded it for a couple of months right after IPO. So the build up here, I believe, was also included in those groups, all right? Now, some of the folks on the street, the analysts, the experts, were expecting this to drop because they felt like the growth was decelerating, only because Palantir on the Q3 earnings release mentioned that instead of making 30 or 45% of growth in the commercial space as they used to do the previous quarter, they was only doing 29% or 30%. But that is just a way of viewing this growth, because the reality is the fundamentals of Palantir has not changed. The company is doing even better. I mean, they are on track to do better than the entire history of the company so far. And that is because they are aggressively targeting both the commercial sector and the government sector, all right? Now, keep in mind that some of the contracts on Palantir are not contracts that you can just compare on a quarterly basis, because it takes time for some of those contracts to be signed or even to roll over. So that is something I believe some of the analysts missed into getting their views after Q3 earnings were released. Now, where is Palantir headed towards? Well, if you look at what Goldman Sachs said a couple of days ago, at least yesterday, Palantir stock is falling today amid a tech rout. The Nasdaq is falling. It's pulling back, not falling, pulling back. But Goldman Sachs still thinks it's a top bet because of the growth, in both the commercial sector, the government sector, and the future cash flows are looking very, very interesting and promising. All right. So when you look at the guidance Palantir gave for the remainder of this year, they are still on track to beat the figures, the numbers, when you compare it to 2020. So I think Palantir is still a great company. Nothing has changed. All right. This is the stock market. Sometimes, especially when you compare this company with some of the peers like Snowflake, all right, big data company as well, they are trading way higher, especially when you look at what we call the price to sales, right? It doesn't make sense that when you compare the sales that Palantir is making and Snowflakes are making, when it comes to the price, there is a big difference, all right? So that to me is just a signal that this is a bargain. And the market is a cycle. This will give the opportunity to the long-term investors like me to even average and scope some more shares, because $20.50 for Palantir shares in Q3 of 2021, it's a very big discount. That's what I think personally. So that being said, if you are here for a quick buck, I don't think Palantir will be something for you. But if you're willing to swing trade this for at least the next 3 months, to next up maybe until January, February, March of next year, I believe you can see some potential decent gains here. But if you are a long-term investor, definitely in the next 5 years, even 3 years, Palantir is still set to be a strong company into the data mining, because that is the future. And I'm betting on Palantir because they are part of what the future will look like, especially when it comes to metaverse, especially when it comes to some of the big data analysis that big companies are going to use. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Looking at the price target to finish this video, you can see that Jefferies is still very bullish on Palantir, giving it a price target of $30 a share, and Goldman Sachs 34. So again, even if this was dated February, it is still a significant upside based on where we are trading now. So I will end this video here. Let me know if you got any comments on this, if you're holding Palantir, if you sold, or if you're planning on getting some more shares.